There's a spirit that courses through the fabric of India. You find it in the countryside, in small towns and big cities. And it emerges from the people who are catalysts of change. They refuse to accept the status quo. They summit every challenge, forging a path to build a stronger society and a greater nation. These are the inspiring stories of the changemakers transforming our nation. AU Small Finance Bank presents Badlaav Humse hai. Change, impact, inspire. In association with Network 18.
India, a land where diversity is not just a concept, but a way of life. A nation that boasts a mosaic of landscapes, cultures, languages, and traditions that have thrived for millennia. In this land of over 1 billion souls, you'll find more than just a geographical marvel. You'll encounter a tapestry of human stories, each thread woven with resilience, innovation, and a relentless pursuit of change. What makes India truly remarkable is its change makers. Individuals from all walks of life who, against all odds, are rewriting the narrative of progress and possibility. AU Small Finance Bank, along with Network 18, launched the Badlaav Humse hai campaign, bringing you stories of these individual change makers from across the country. In our two-part special, we'll be bringing you some of these stories captured through the course of the campaign, and we urge all of you to go to our website to catch all the stories there. So let's start with the story of an incredible journey of one person who transformed personal injury into public triumph. What started out as a setback has now been transformed into a social celebration of playing and childhood. Let's look at the story of Umoya Sports.
Play is the first form of learning for any child. It is actually the first thing that a child starts doing to build their exploratory skills, to build their social skills, life skills, make friends. But unfortunately for a child with disability, it becomes the first form of exclusion. During my college days, I had a major sports injury due to which I was bedridden for a very long time. And that gave me an experience and an understanding of the challenges that people with disabilities face. When I started Umoya, it was through a year of pilots, which I did in 2017, where we worked with a lot of therapy centers with individual children with disabilities. Parents, teachers alike were always hesitant and feeling like my child might get hurt. Sports is not for them. We are okay for doing non-movement based, non-contact based things. So we wanted play and sports as a medium to break these barriers, to create a narrative of empowering children with disabilities. In the process, they actually start learning skills of numeracy, colors, numbers, and such fundamental things which are very essential for a child's overall development. In order for sports to become more accessible for more children with disabilities, the most essential is to create a safe, inclusive space for children where they feel accepted. And second is to have a mindset where we are celebrating diversity and to be able to include all children.
Sports shows us how when we change the way we look at a problem, very often we find a solution. And now let's have a look at our next story from Ladakh. A stellar piece of work to bring change in people's lives and more to do with the heart. Let's have a look at this story of Ladakh Heart Foundation.
This community had lots of problems, which congenital heart disease and rheumatic heart disease. Most of the majority of the people, they don't know much about the health, how to take care of themselves. The idea of the heart hospital came to my mind after I saw the number of patients, especially young children with rheumatic heart disease at the Ladakh Bodh Bihara in Delhi. Back in 1997, they had traveled to Delhi for treatment because of lack of facilities here in Leh. I know I had to do something. I consulted with local physician in Ladakh to inquire about the prevention, what could be done. Awareness is very important. We're trying to give them, educate them, ask them to do how to take care of themselves. So a lot of people now, they know what is the cervical cancers, what is the heart disease, and then what is the hepatitis and all those things. We have almost more than a few thousand people had taken benefit from our organization. Our foundation our goal is to continue this organization to help for the communities and to help for the people who really need this organization.
A monk and a maverick who brought medicine to the high mountains. And his foundation is more than just a lifeline. With that, we get to our next story, which actually is a journey of 1,000 miles that begins with a single step. Here's the story of Ashok and the Oscar Foundation.
This is the community where I have grown up, and these are the children, my family. Right front of my eyes, I saw how they were dropping out of the school, falling prey to addiction and crime. I knew I had to help them and bind them together. When I launched Oscar Foundation in 2010 and I started teaching football to these children, parents were not ready to send their kids. If they play football, how will they earn money or go to school in remaining hours? Convincing them was a huge challenge. So I set a condition: no school, no football. If you want to play, you will need to study first.
I started with one football and 18 children.
I didn't have a ground, no equipment, no money, just sheer willpower to carry on. Children started enjoying the activity. Their trust in me helped me to continue. Football became a tool to teach children them life skill, confidence, discipline, gender equality, resilience, working them in team. With no school, no football rules, children didn't miss a single day of school.
In coming years, we are now building strategy, and we are also more interested in working in rural villages. We are also working on excellence program.
Right now, there is 33% girls participate in our program. We want to make it up to 50%.
Here's wishing that Ashok Rathore and the Oscar Foundation carry on with their winning ways. Change begins with us, and everyone has a role to play. Let's move on then to our next story of Ghazi Khan preserving music, who believes that a musical tradition that has no written history now has a record that will last forever. Let's go tune in to this melody of change.
ये राजस्थान की जो धरती है, राजाओं की धरती है, तो उनके लिए हम लोग जो उनके बखान, उनके जो प्रशंसा, उनके गाने जब हम गाते हैं तो वो हम लोगों के लिए बहुत एक डिफिकल्ट गीत है। मांगनेवालों के पास जो म्यूजिक है वो बहुत बड़ा संगीत का खजाना है। ये सब चीज़ें उनके पास एक ओरल ट्रेडिशन है। मांगनेवाल लंगा का जो बच्चा है वो जन्म होता है तो वो अगर रोएगा ना तो एक राग में रोएगा। अगर वो बच्चा चलना चालू अगर चलेगा ना तो वो रिदम के साथ चलेगा। मांगनेवाल म्यूजिक है वो इतना रिच है। तो मेरे गांव में मैंने एक इंस्टीट्यूट बनाया, पहचान फोक म्यूजिक इंस्टीट्यूट। उसमें हमने 50 सीनियर म्यूजिशियन हमारी कम्युनिटी के लंगाजन मांगनेवाल बहुत कम्युनिटी के बुलाए और हमने उनसे डिस्कस किया कि भाई अपनी कितनी राग है, कितनी रागनियाँ हैं, कौन सी राग किस टाइम गाई जाती है। मैं कल रहूं ना रहूं, ये मेरी एक पूंजी, ये मेरी एक मेमोरी कि ये मेरा संगीत मेरे आगे की 15 पीढ़ी तक पहुंचेगा।
Well, it just goes to show how it takes only one person to make a difference. With that, it's time for a short break, but we'll be back on the other side with lots more inspirational stories. So stay with us. Welcome back to this special episode of Badlaav Humse Hai, an initiative by AU Small Finance Bank and Network 18, where we've been bringing you stories of changemakers who have been walking on a new path towards effective humanitarian service and making a significant difference in the lives of individuals and communities in India. Do remember to log on to our website to catch all the stories there. But for now, we bring you the story of a special educator and a therapist, Dr. Bhuvna Vasudevan, who has been working with neurodiverse children for the past 4 decades, helping them excel in their chosen fields of excellence.
In my early teaching years, I used to observe that some children were constantly struggling with basic concepts. I started working with each child and used the therapy of love to find my answers. When I started treating every child differently, their graph improved, and some parents came to me and said, "Why don't you open a special learning school for our children?" This is how it just started.
We go with the strength of the children. I understand the capacity, the capabilities. I do an assessment periodically and find out what is their unique strength. So we have to get to the child's shoes and understand from their own level.
Bringing them together increases their tolerance, and slowly they become more accepting of themselves and others. We are now in the process of working on a center for excellence, for children with special needs, where the focus is primarily on occasional education. Because our sustainability comes from our children finally going to the larger world and thriving. They become a bridge for our school children here. This is my vision for the future, that no child is ignored, that we use the therapy of love to transform each child.
Dr. Bhuvna Vasudevan is a brilliant example of how we don't need to accept the status quo. If we see a problem, a gap that needs fixing, very often the solution can be found in us. Our next story is of an inspirational individual who is truly on a mission to harness the power of the collective to tap into the healing, regenerative power of water. Let's take a look at the story of Manikandan.
A severe drought hit Coimbatore in 2017. I saw all the lakes and ponds in the city drying up. I knew that something had to be done to save our centuries-old water bodies that were built by the Chola Empire. I put up a post on social media asking people to come to clean the 264-acre Perur lake. 15 people turned up. Next day, 200. And the week after that, nearly 450 people, including young children, came to help us clean the lake. Since that day, we have not looked back. In Vellalore, which is the southern part of Coimbatore, people had completely misused the lake. It took us 4 Sundays to clear the sludge, dirt, muck, and weeds that had grown on the canal. After cleaning and desilting the lake, we planted trees around it. And water came after a long wait of 17 years. To our surprise, more than 153 migratory birds started flocking to the lake. 150 varieties of butterflies now inhabit the area. We are now building a butterfly garden there. Like-minded corporates support us through their CSR funds. The government helps us with approvals for several lake reclamation and tree planting projects. But we have come this far because 65,000 people, my registered volunteers, stand with us with a mission to save every drop, clean every riverside, and revive these water bodies with compassion and zeal.
Manikandan and his water warriors are scripting a staggering story of success and are reminding us that we need to create a lasting impact on our environment. It's time for our next inspirational story of the Mahila Commandos. They have empowered the women of their communities by reducing domestic violence and bringing down illegal liquor consumption. This is their story of victory over circumstances.
महिलाएं बताती थी कि हमारे पति नशा करके आते हैं, मारपीट करते हैं, हमारे बच्चे भी नशा कर रहे हैं और बिगड़ रहे हैं, तो इसके लिए हम लोग क्या करें। तो हम लोगों ने बहुत सोचा विचार किया और हमारे मन में आया कि क्यों ना इन्हीं सक्रिय महिलाओं का एक ग्रुप बनाया जाए, जिसको हम लोगों ने महिला कमांडो का नाम दिया। एक वो गृहिणी है, एक मजदूर वर्ग की महिला है, तो जब उसको महिला कमांडो कहकर पुकारा जाता है तो उसे लगता है कि मुझे भी एक पहचान मिली। और ये बहनें टोटल वॉलंटियरी वर्क करती हैं और गांव में रात्रिकालीन गश्त करती हैं। गांव में यदि कहीं पे झगड़े हो रहे हैं, कहीं ताश जुआ खेल रहे हैं, कहीं पे नशा कर रहे हैं, तो इसको ये लोग रोकथाम करती हैं। महिला कमांडो को लेके हमारा लक्ष्य बहुत ही बड़ा है, क्योंकि हम चाहते हैं कि छत्तीसगढ़ की हर महिला कमांडो के रूप में आगे आए। बालिका शिक्षा को लेके भी हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं। हमारी कमांडो बहनें दान इकट्ठा करती हैं, क्योंकि बेटी पढ़ेगी तभी समाज शिक्षित होगा। और इसके साथ ही साथ हम लोग इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज़ से हम महिलाओं को जोड़ने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, जिसमें हमारी महिला कमांडो समूह से जुड़ के गोबर का दिया बना रही हैं, दोना पत्तल का काम कर रही हैं, वर्मी कंपोस्ट बना रही हैं, फूल की खेती, और अधिकांश महिलाएं एग्रीकल्चर से जुड़ के खेती किसानी का काम कर रही हैं। हम लोगों ने महिला कमांडो को इतना मजबूत और स्ट्रांग बनाने का प्रयास किया है, मैं रहूं या न रहूं, महिला कमांडो जरूर रहेगी।
We hope the spotlight they share today will inspire many more women from all walks of life in both rural and urban India to stand up against bullying, discrimination and violence. And with that, we come to the final story of this episode of AU Small Finance Bank and Network 18's Badlaav Humse hai. This is the remarkable story of CLAW, Conquer Land, Air, Water, a team of former Special Forces operatives pushing the boundaries of human capability. Take a look.
I was a Special Forces officer, and during a skydive in 2015, my parachute malfunctioned and I had a spinal cord injury. That's when I came to meet my friend Lieutenant Buduria, who is permanently paralyzed. He once asked me if he could scuba dive, and that question changed everything for me. Our buddies retired from the Army and Naval Special Forces joined us, and that's how we became Team CLAW. We decided to focus on creation, especially focused at helping people with disabilities.
मैंने रियलाइज़ किया कि ये देखने वाली चीज़ नहीं है, इससे लोग हील हो रहे हैं और एक पर्टिकुलर इकोसिस्टम ऐसा बनाया जा सकता है.
Operation Blue Freedom was born to evolve society's view of disabilities and ensure dignity and freedom for everyone. The vision expanded to create centers worldwide where military special forces veterans and people with disabilities work together, not just benefiting those with disabilities, but everyone. It is about evolving perceptions and realizing our full potential as human beings, one mission at a time.
Bringing change requires courage, and to bring a change for the welfare of others also demands perseverance. We just saw 8 stories that exemplify what it truly means to be a change maker, to work selflessly for the good of others. Do remember to catch all the stories of AU Small Finance Bank and Network 18 present Badlaav Humse hai on our website. Do stay with us. We'll be back with another episode showcasing 8 more stories of incredible individuals transforming the lives of people and communities around them. That's all we have today. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.